looking for Odrin. Also, this like arena over here. What's going on here? Can't talk to this guy. Can't talk to this guy. What about you?
Greetings.
No. Alright. Alright. How do I sign up for these fights?
Who do I spy if not the famed Geralt of Rivia?
No one.
You seem to know me, but I have no idea who you are.
And you're worse off for that, for I can make you even more famous.
Alright.
You write ballads or something?
I've no notion of songs, but the king's vested me with the task of organizing knightly tourneys. A swordmaster like you must be eager to show off his skills.
Sure. Interested in anything besides?
Knightly tournaments are a pastime for real men.
Real man.
Does King Henselt have any interests besides fighting?
We value knightly tradition in Kedwin. Only duels in the arena let a knight stay in good form and hone his skills.
Alright. Gonna want a contract for Rotfield.
I'm interested in the Rotfield contract. Know anything about it?
The scum has so far destroyed 2 convoys of army provisions. Before we arrived, they'd only attacked the local cattle. Since the mist appeared, they've grown bolder and started hunting our patrols. The lads from the company have collected a kitty. Sort it all out and the coin is yours.
Okay. How do I join the tournament? Hello. Let's go. I'm in.
Die!
I don't think I can just fight like that. I'm pretty sure they will all just get resurrected.
I've no bloody idea who you might be, but I hope
Aldrin! Aldrin! Where are you?
Everyone looking for goddamn Pokemon. Right, I want to play Pokemon. Oh, he's outside. Right. Let me out.
Aldrin! Where are you?
Bro, what is with this lag? Alright, what's up?
Oi, Witcher! Out in these wastelands hunting monsters?
Yep.
Well, if you see 2 of my men, tell them I'll rip them both brand new assholes if they miss muster.
Why did they go out there?
What are they doing there?
It's a common malady. A day don't go by that some dimwit don't sneak out of the camp to go to the gullies.
Gullies. Now look for them.
We'll see if I come across anyone.
Luck be with you. You're a good fellow. Ah, find them and you'll see Corporal Zivik knows how to be grateful.
Sure. Lost lambs. As the Witcher wandered, the Kadweni camp was approached by Zivik, whom you already met earlier. The man, visibly concerned, asked Geralt to find some soldiers who had gone missing somewhere beyond the palisade. The soldier offered a reward for completing this task, so refusing him would have been sinful. Great. The Witcher promised to keep an eye out for the missing grunts during his excursions in the area.
What do you want, Witcher?
You must love Henselt.
From what I can see, you and the men love your king.
Seems like
He's like a father to us, really. Comes around from time to time, chats it up, pats you on the mug. Remembers our names too, though you got to earn that in battle. Been so distinguished 3 times already. Pride myself on it.
I'm sure it's a great honor for a humble soldier like yourself.
Last time it happened, we was on the march. Some peasant poisoned his well. A few of our lads died, many others got sick. I pacified that village. We hit them so hard, we even struck fear into our own boys. They went without a row for 2 days, and the king was very pleased. He came around, gave me a friendly punch in the gut, laughed, and said, "You are one true son of a bitch. If you'd not been born among swine, you'd probably be king."
So he massacred a village, that's why he got
That's how he is.
Uh-huh.
Humane and all. He's really got a heart.
Uh-huh, sure. Tell me about the last Battle of Bergen.
Did you participate in the battle?
I did. And I fought. But I'd rather not go into it.
The spirits of those who died in battle are now in combat on that field. They kill each other and change into nasty creatures called Draugrs. Adarnians, Kedwenis, even your comrades. I want to help them, but I have to know what happened during the battle.
Oh, the plague. Listen then. The fighting started in the afternoon. The Dun Banner was first to attack. We were ambushed, cut off from our main unit and devastated. bloody scouts and Sabrina Glevisig, who was supposed to mind the battlefield. By then, the battle was in full swing. Wherever you see those damned furrows, people fought there. The Edirnian lines faltered a few times, but we couldn't crush them because of Seltkirk. Yes, we had the Visitor. They had Seltkirk of Gullet, the invincible White Knight, Edern's finest swordsman. Wherever our forces gained the upper hand, he'd appear and reverse the fighting's course. Then, Vandegrift himself went into battle. He met Selkirk in the middle of the melee. It was a battle of titans. In the end, the Visitor hacked Selkirk and sliced the White Knight from his head to his balls. Then, death fell from the heavens. Lumps of burning soil flew through the air. The whole valley was on fire. Damned magic of a damned witch. I owe my life to Priest Crest, our chaplain. He led me out of the battle and went back for the others. He had a medallion that protected him against fire. He led everyone out, including the Edirnians. But the flames got him in the end.
Alright, that's a good guy. Did Christ's medallion disappear with him?
You mentioned the priest.
A really good man. He was with us the whole time, during the march, in the barracks, and in battle, among common soldiers. Freya gave him a medallion to protect him from fire.
Freya.
I don't know how true that is, but he led me and many others to safety.
Who has this medallion?
King Henselt. I saw it once. I don't know how he got hold of it, but he definitely had it.
Okay. Any memories of the Battle of Brenna?
Were you at Brenna?
Ah, yes. Cut down more black ones there than anywhere else. The Redanians were in disarray on the left when we joined the battle. Same with the Temerian regiments in the middle. We arrived just in time. Menno Cohorn commanded the Nilfgaardians. He was some leader. Even we feared him like fire, but somehow we prevailed.
What happened to him afterwards?
He refused to flee, died like many others. Though no one knows who did it, and no one ever found his corpse.
Okay, so are you sure he died? How did the battle start?
What happened before the battle?
We forded the Pontar on the third day after the autumn equinox. The Edirnians were waiting for us, formed up in a long line at the foot of those hills. I remember the banners of Vengerberg, Aldersburg, Gullet. Knights, armoured infantry, peasants, the Vergen dwarf regiment. All save the king. They numbered more than 5,000. General Vandegrift, commander of the Kedwenis, had less than 4,000, including the elite Bearheads, armoured troops from Ard Caraig, and the famous White Foxes of the North. And ourselves, the Dun Banner, veterans of Brenner, hated by the Edirnians more than the plague. But above all, we had Vandegrift the Visitor. Maybe he was a bastard, but he knew war like nobody else.
And he killed the other general as well, alright. You served in the Dun Banner.
Do I have this right? You served in the Dun Banner?
Did indeed. Henselt's never commanded a fiercer group of warriors, and he never will. If not for us, there'd have been no victory for the North at Brenner. We carried the day.
I didn't see the Dun Banner in the camp.
And you won't. The unit's no more. Ensign Eckhard Hennessy carried the standard into battle for the last time 3 years ago.
The last
Glevisig's magic?
Worse, the Edirnian troops, the bastards. The Dun Banner, the pride of Kedwen, lost its standard and almost all its men. The Visitor refused to send us reinforcements when we were cut off. The Dun must prevail. It's been in worse shite than this. The Dun will be all right. 7 Edirnians to each one of us. We had no fucking hope. 200 men went into battle and less than 70 came back. But that's not all. Only a few survived to this day. Boys couldn't handle it. Suicide, firewater, fistek. A few became highwaymen. They ended up on the gallows or in ditches. Memories can also kill you, and soldiers don't always deal with them well.
I have to find that standard.
I heard it lies in the catacombs neath Vergen, alongside my mates.
Alright.
Hey, if you're thinking of going there, I ought to give you my beaver skin cap. That's its rightful place.
Oh. Alright. Collected one beaver skin cap. Alright. Did you see the duel between Skeklik and the Visitor?
Did you see the duel between Saltkirk and Vandergrift?
From a distance. At the time I was on that hill, and they were somewhere over there. The field used to be as flat as a table. It was their second duel. Earlier, in peacetime, they'd met at a tournament in Ard Caraig. Selkirk won then. Vandergrift's sword cracked and the Visitor had to yield. After the tournament, he had a new sword forged by Kedwin's best mages and swordsmiths. That's how Loathan came to be.
I think that means hatred in the Elder language. Pretty pretentious.
They say a sorcerer cast a spell on the sword and told Vandergrift the blade wouldn't crack as long as he remained invincible. The mage got 50 lashes and was the last to mention any such nonsense.
Who has Vandergrift's sword now?
When the Sea of Flames died out, the looters ran amok. They found Selkirk's chainmail, which survived somehow. Maybe it was magical too. Vandergrift's sword went missing. The boys in the camp claim the female dragon slayer has it, but I wouldn't even try talking to her.
Who's got Selkirk's chainmail?
A certain Vincent Trott. Low nobility, in the army since forever, a greedy bastard.
Where can I find him?
That's a problem. Deathmold wanted him arrested after they found a square coin on him.
Annotator, okay.
Some of the officers and noblemen want to get rid of the black ones. They don't like how they lord it around the camp, even though the king talks to them. Those coins are their sign, the stupid bunch of plotters. Anyway, Vincent's a swashbuckler. He thrashed Deathmold's people and disappeared. Those with the coins won't say a word because they're scared of Deathmold.
Alright, you helped me.
Thanks, Civic.
Let's play poker.
I'd like to play dice.
Wanna play right now?
Hell yeah. Oh, come on, let me bet more than this. Okay, so we learned a bit about the battles and all. Important stuff. Dude, I got 3 6s. He's screwed. One more 6 and he'll be really screwed. Just surrender. Yeah, resign. You resign now.
Here's your reward. That was good rolling. You deserve it.
Who else plays dice around here?
Madam Carol ought to play you. Interesting match that would be.
Discuss Hensel's medallion with Deathmold. Fate symbolized. Death symbolized. Across the other side of the mist. Alright. These guys just pick between rocks. Hatred symbolized. Opportunity moment to acquire Vandergrift swords. I gotta go fight everyone and kill them or something? Poker face. Zivik lost. What a shame. Madame Carol now awaited the Witcher beyond the stockade among the camp's follower tents. They said she was as lucky as dice and she was in love. Oh great. Lifting a curse on a battlefield is no small feat, requires separation and professional approach. The Witcher was fully qualified and thanks to the advice from other professionals, knew exactly how to approach his thankless task. Among other things, he had to acquire artifacts of the battle, representing the virtues and horrors of war. Symbol of courage was one of them. The Witcher decided to inquire around camp about the nature of the symbol, for nobody knows more about war than soldiers. The armor ended up in the hands of Vincent Todd, a cutthroat. To obtain the artifact, the Witcher had to find the knave. Fate symbolized. A hero was searching for the item representing the virtues and horrors of war. They were necessary to lift the curse that forced the race of soldiers killed in the battle between Kedveni and Erden to fight an eternal battle against each other and the living who strayed onto the haunted battlefields. Talking to Zivik, Geralt learned that a priest carrying a miraculous medallion took part in the battle. This item protected the holy man from the rain of fire and doubtlessly had supernatural properties, which could have been symbolized by faith or sought by the Witcher. The medallion now belonged to Henselt, and Geralt decided to approach the issue diplomatically. He knew that if he angered the king, he could kiss the medallion goodbye. The diplomatic way led through Deathmold. And death. It seemed very likely the standard of the Dun banner, the famous unit of Kedveni light cavalry, was a symbol of death, and thus one of the artifacts Geralt needed to lift the curse on the battlefield. At least so thought Zivik, King Hensel's soldier who had seen a lot in life. The Witcher decided that where warcraft was concerned, the veteran could be trusted. Unfortunately, the standard was buried with the fallen men of the unit in the woven catacombs on the other side of the spectral mist. For now, the symbol of death remained beyond our hero's grasp, which needed to cross the other side of the mist, but was forced to wait for an opportunity to do so. And hatred. Zivik told Geralt that Vandergrift, the infamous butcher, had a sword named Hatred. If anything linked to the battle was a symbol of hatred, then it was this very blade. Rumor had it that the weapon was in the possession of the Dragon Slayer, therefore seemingly out of Geralt's reach. I can go to her and tell her, hey, give me the sword. I need it. Isidore Quay. Wait, Lasota? When it turned out the Brigadier was beloved, Livia, Proximo. Proximo, the arena master, has a talent for oration, and the fights he organized were famous in all of Kedveni and beyond. Blows rained down, armor fragments and teeth flew left and right. In other words, the audience found his arena to equal the merry of dancing on a fair day. Wait. Alright, we got nothing else really.
Well, it was here yesterday.
What are you searching for, my man? So I guess Madame Carol or whatever is here. These are camp followers, right? Set up a camp here. Oh yeah. Hello, Raymond
I want to
Sessler.
stock up on provisions.
Seek and ye shall find, as the prophet Lebiota would say.
He was a shepherd, had experience in seeking and finding.
You know the good book, that's worthy of praise.
Can you speak louder,
Any
please?
discount on account of that?
No,
No. Lowering prices is a good deed.
The prophet Lebiota encourages the giving of discounts.
I don't recall that verse.
Oral tradition.
Yeah.
And if your neighbor offers you a basket of apples for a ram, say you shall take but half a basket, for 10 more neighbors will come. And 5 of them will offer you 2 baskets of apples for the ram so many covet.
An endless source of wisdom.
No, great.
Browse and choose.
He'll give me a damn discount. Alright, but he's not selling anything. I don't really want a discount. If you could buy my stuff for higher price, I would be happy enough. Temerian Royal Dynasty, Legendary of Curse. Wild Hunt is a book I need. I think it's a quest item, so you got to keep it. And yeah, nothing else really.
I fought the Nilfgaardians a few years back.
You fought the Nilfgaardians a few years back? How the hell did that happen? Raymond Kessler. The prophet Lebodia's wisdom, as recorded in the good book, was Raymond Kessler's recipe for life. This food peddler looked to the prophet's teaching at every step, following them even in pursuing his enterprise. This works surprisingly well.
We should have our say, take an interest in things. Or it will turn out like the mill in Stilton. The one the smith from Jailmouth took over when he married the miller's widow.
There's a fair chance of Henselt and Shillard inviting us to their meeting.
Well, we should at least object somehow. Spit at the sight of the black ones. Turn our heads away. Hiss on their tents.
They don't like
Just
the
need to
Nilfgaardians.
watch that we don't make a mistake.
Probably smart. Sambor?
Greetings.
Welcome an opportunity when it comes.
They say you run a traveling pawn shop. Heard you even have books.
No song, no supper.
Nobody mentioned you speak in proverbs.
A willful man must have his way.
Got a problem?
Ah, you're doing this on a bet. How long do you have to go on like this?
Lost time is never again found.
Alright, what if you lose the bet?
What happens if you lose the bet?
Crows do not pick crows' eyes.
Good luck anyway.
Fortune is easily found, but hard to keep.
How do you know so
I wish
many
you
proverbs?
persistence then. Can I see your goods? I'm mainly interested in those books.
Better to ask the way than to go astray.
Oh, let's roll then, first. Might as well beat them all. I forgot to roll with the dwarf. I'll do it after this. But yeah, beat everyone once. That is my motto. I don't even look at what our opponent has. He's gonna win probably, but if I get 3 of a kind, then I will win. But the game is stupid like that. No, I just got 2 pairs. I'm gonna lose. Yeah, you got a full house. Hey, Sambor.
Better to ask.
Let's wait for a second. What books you got? Beings of the Element of Earth. Bruxa, Ecologist of Death. Harpies, Daughter of the Gale. How to Kill a Boulevard. Magic and Power, Monstrum, Necker, The Pro. Oh my god, he's got so many books. Rage, Fear and Trembling. Okay, let's read all these then. Element of Earth, Bruxa book. Then Drowners, a textbook for initiates of the Order of the Flaming Rose. From Annals of Markham and History. Gargoyles, Gutters, Putters, Maintenance and Repairs. Sure, I'll buy that. Harpies, Daughter of the Kill, How to Kill a Boulevard. Monstrum or a Portrayal of Witchers. Echoes in the Mist. Trolls and Trolling. Slaves of the Curse. Robbers. The Arrakis, Art of Magic, Position of the Spears, Dun Banner, Feudal society and enemies. Rand Triple, Horrors of War, Rotfiends, legendary of favorite this one. Nilfgaardian provinces, Pontar Valley, Realms of the Nordling, Lord, Average Temerian Royal Dynasty. Special forces, Steven Uprising, War for Raiden, and Driga, I've read that also. Race, Fear and Trembling, sure. I bought like 100.
Aye, there are.
Oh my god, I got so many now. Beaver Cap, okay. Beings of Element of Earth. The Earth Elemental is a younger brother of the legendary Tao, the genie capable of creating earthquakes and flattening mountains. Younger means less powerful but also more mischievous, felling trees, toppling the walls of buildings and crushing people into a pulp. Number among these creatures' pranks. Of course, it performs only those its master wishes it to. Alright. A neologist of death, say. The Bruxa is a higher vampire that is a post-conjunction creature, an intruder in our world. She assumes the form of a beautiful woman and then turns terrifying when she grows hungry and attacks. As befits a vampire, the Bruxa drinks blood. The victim of a Bruxa is often both her lover and a chief source of sustenance. As long as she doesn't kill them, it's kind of like whatever. Sometimes drowned when returned as monsters to haunt the living, tormented by their own death, seek to murder others. If people draw their prey underwater, as the victims drown, they tear them into shreds and consume them like soggy biscuits. Such creatures are called drowners. They are numerous on the banks of the Pontar as a large river. Regular shipping and riverside villages provide them with ample sustenance. Annals of Hakam and history. Dwarves are one of the elder races, stocky and bearded with strongly built. I think I've read this as well. And low voices, they are distinguished by their height, which is lower than that of a human. Of simple and direct manners, they are sometimes seen as grumpy, uncut, and greedy. I have to stress that my own opinion on the dwarves is by no means similar to the latter part. I only cite it here to present the views of other people, even if they are dull-minded, hate-blinded buffoons. Mahakam is the dwarves' mountainous homeland, famed for its numerous mines and precious stones and aura mined. Many dwarves also live in human cities, so that race usually adapts to new neighbors easily. Something that cannot be unfortunately said about a large part of humanity. Despite vexations, persecution, and even bloody pogroms, the coexistence with dwarves goes a lot better than with elves. Their flair for trade and craft makes them excellent merchants, bankers, smiths, and armorers. Gargoyles, gutters, and splutters. Maintenance and repair. Theorists of magic still argue about how gargoyles should be classified. The also author favors the school which claim they are a type of golem, for gargoyles are nothing more than fancy sculptures brought to life by magic in order to perform menial duties. They can complete only the most rudimentary tasks, so they are often found guarding a territory, even if the creator turned to dust long ago. He who seeks to deactivate the creature permanently must first locate the place from which they are controlled. Once dead, he extinguishes the magic runes that control the construct's will. Alright. Harpy, daughter of the Gale. There are many species of harpy, and all are kleptomaniacs, though some steal dreams instead of trinkets. Really? They especially like dreams laden with strong emotions, such as nightmares that recur every night. The victims lose their dreams, which can actually be a blessing when nightmares are concerned, and the harpies encase them in crystals, creating items that strongly radiate magic. Mages desire the dreams these creatures steal. They are known to breed harpies on perches with a view towards flitching their booty at daybreak. Yet it is rare for a dream or nightmare to be powerful enough or to come from a powerful enough creature to satisfy the desires of a mage. He who would destroy a harpy's nest perched atop a rocky ledge must set a special glistening explosive trap. When the harpy snatches its loot, the charge is detonated, and anything that survives the explosion is dealt with by gravity, the eternal foe of all avian creatures. How to kill a bull of war. The bulliver can be compared to a heap of muscle contained within a flexible yet durable hide. It has the head of a buffalo, yet its mouth is filled with sharp teeth, perfectly suited to rendering flesh. Bullivers are post-conjunction creatures. Visible marks of chaos include the creature's horns and the vestigial, largely immovable limbs that cover its body. Limbs cover its body, huh? Monstrum, portrayal of witchers. Once as numerous as the beasts they fought, today witches are seen as a relic of times long gone. The exact character of their training remains a mystery. Dude, I'm not recording. What the hell is going on here? They record nothing? Bro, what the hell happened? It was on, right, at the start? I hope so. The exact character of the training is the mystery. It is known it consists among others of the trials, a process that transforms the organism using a specific combination of secret herbs and infusions. Those who survive them gain superhuman reflexes, speed of reaction, the ability to see in the dark, and many other traits, making them lethal foes. During their training, they learn sword play and basics of magic, known as science. Armed in this set of abilities, the Witcher can effectively fulfill their objective, that is, protect humans from monsters inhabiting our world. That's a pretty good portrayal of us. Neckers in the Mist. Imagine a drowner that burrows tunnels, climbs trees, is more vicious than usual, and when ambushing its prey, it does so with many of its kin. Now you have a good idea of what a necker is. These primitive creatures are the bane of the wilderness. The inhabitants of forest villages fear them, and animals give their nest a wide berth. Neckers are social creatures, gathering in something akin to tribes, where they can only repel the attacks of stronger assailants en masse. Witches can use Their full range of skills and techniques in fighting neckers. Science, bombs, poison, and oils augment bleeding are extremely effective against beast. Against the beast. Neckers at nest are best destroyed with grape shot bombs. So it mentions it here. Wow. I suppose it is partly my fault then. They did mention that you need a grape shot bomb, but I didn't remember. I just remember bomb. They should mention it in the actual quest. Trolls and trolling. According to legend, trolls are born of the earth and their body is made of rock. They fear and despise sunlight, which kills them by turning them into inanimate stone. So they only prowl at night. So much for legends. What is the reality? Well, as always, the truth is far more mundane. Trolls are living creatures like you and me, and they prefer day to night, for they are clumsy, so they stumble over stones in the dark. Spilling the vodka they cherish so much. Great. Their skin is indeed hard as stone, but beneath it they are muscles and a heart that pumps blood. Given that they bleed, they can be killed. Slaves of the Curse. Book on Draugrs. Draugrs are commanders. Drogs are commanders, and Draugrs are their rage soldiers. A Draug calls Draugrs into existence on battlefields or in cemeteries by the sheer force of his will. Like the Draug himself, these minions arise from damned souls trapped within shells formed of the remains of arms, armor, war machines, and corpses that were torn apart by scavengers. Arachnids. Arachnids are lower hunters. They patiently lie in wait for their prey in order to kill it with one swift strike when it appears. The same is true for Arrakis, a huge creature that took the liking to the riverside forest, becoming their undisputed king. As ruler thereof, the Arrakis will not share its territory with any other hunters, which is included. The art of magic. The power that sorceresses can command is commonly called magic. In the opinion of certain sorceresses I am acquainted with, magic is chaos, an art and a science, a curse, a blessing, and progress. However poetic it may sound, it is hard to find a better simile. Everything depends on the person that uses that power, of course. Still, it is a fact that it can be used to achieve things not possible but to normal humans. The witches' signs are also a form of magic, but sorcerers look at them with disdain, since they cannot be compared to the forces the sorcerers themselves command. Without magic, our world would certainly be less interesting, and many beautiful things would be forgotten. There's so much more, man. The conjunction of the spheres. There are scores of learned works, dissections, and treatises about this magical cataclysm from about 1500 years ago. Because of this event, creatures never seen before entered our world and still do not have their own ecological niche here. Among others, graviers and ghouls are relics of the permeation of the spheres, though elven tradition has it that we humans are also newcomers from that time. The sorcerers claim that the time humanity received both a wondrous gift and terrible curse that they consider magic to be at that time. So we received magic at that time, okay. The Dun Banner. The Dun Banner rose to fame during the last war with Nilfgaard. Cadwani light cavalry regiment initially it patrolled the area around Ban Galen. Called to the front, it proved its mettle during the incursion into Upper Aden, but it was the chroniclers of the Battle of Brenna who made the unit famous. Because history likes to repeat itself, several years later the Dun Banner once again led Hensel's foray into Eden. This time it suffered crushing defeat at the hands of an unstable ally, no less. The sorceress Sabrina Glesvig. Decimated beyond resurrection, the unit was never reformed, and its characteristic cloaks and beaver skin caps, which once bred terror in the hearts of Cadwani foes, became a thing of the past, though they remain identifying marks by which the unit's few surviving members Americanize one another. Feudal society and its enemies. Scoia'tael is a name used by rebels fighting for non-human freedom. It is the common tongue means squirrels, as some would had it. It is because of squirrels' tails that adorn the rebels' caps, or from the forest board that they had to survive on. Scoia'tael form units over a score strong, consisting mainly of elves, that sometimes dwarves and halflings joined too. During the last war with Nilfgaard, the Scoia'tael fought on the side of the Empire, making diversions and great damage beyond our lines. Despite the provisions of the Peace of Sintra, many did not disarm and continued to fight, especially when it turned out that Nilfgaard sacrificed them in name of peace and gave unit leaders to nodlings to be executed. The Grand Triple, Cult of Melitele. Great Melitele is, among others, the pattern of love, marriage, fertility, nature, and abundance. A cult came to be through the blending of those beliefs and many different races and cultures held about these aspects of life. Melitele's popularity never waned, and the phenomena is explained in various ways. I think the causes are prosaic myself. The cult of Melitele is predominantly women cult, and the goddess is, among others, the protector of women in childbirth. A delivering woman has to scream, and apart from the usual yells and empty promises that she will never give herself to another mangy man again, the woman has to call for some deity to help. And the Melitele fits the bill perfectly. Because women were deliver and will be delivering, the goddess of Melitele does not have to worry about a lowering of the number of worshippers. Alright. The Horrors of War, Rot Fiends. Given that they are necrophages, Rot Fiends feed on carrion and human corpses, but this does not mean they do not attack the living. They appear on battlefields, near cities affected by plague, or around villages touched by famine. See a Rot Fiend and you can be sure there are many more in the area. They appear of a sudden and disappear even more quickly if threatened, so exterminating them is difficult. Trapping rot fiends makes little or no sense. Instead, they are best dealt with by cutting off their food supply, that is, burning all corpses in the area. Corpses must be incinerated rather than buried, for rot fiends are avid and skillful diggers. Without sustenance, the beast will leave in search of a new feeding ground. Alright. Nilfgaard. The Empire of Nilfgaard is the largest state in the known world, its rule extending over more than a dozen provinces. It has conquered all the realms south of Emel Mountains and united them under one crown. Black imperial standards adorned with the golden sun flutter over buildings and outposts from the Yaruga River in the north to Virkovo in the south and the mountain massif of Tokar in the east. The Empire's mighty armies lie in wait, ready to bring death at the ruler's command or to die eagerly in his name. The Black One's continued march northward was last stopped several years ago through the unified effort of the northern kingdoms and the sacrifice of much blood at Brenna. Yet peering across the Yaruga on a bright day, one can still see the dark clouds and the sun glancing off the points of their lances, so they're still there. Pontar Valley. If you have but a morsel of geographical knowledge, one glance at a map is enough to know why the Pontar is strategically important. It is here that borders of Temeria, Redania, Kedvania, and Erden meet. It is the valley that physically marks these frontiers. They say that he who controls the Potter Valley controls the north. So it is no wonder that the sighted realms have crashed here more than once. Blood has often mingled with the water of the Ponta, though the reasons for this have varied. Wars waged by nobles in pursuit of political interest and motion-seeking trade privileges have been intermingled with riots and massacres. Elven uprisings and the revolts of frontier barons. All these have been garnished with the occasional peasant rebellion, an event that forces often quarreling factions to unite to crush a plebeian mob drunk on blood and carnage. Realm of the North Reigns. This realm is bordered by Kedwin to the north, Redania to the northwest, Temeria and the massif of the Mahakan Mountains to the west, and Lyria to the south. The Blue Mountains line its eastern frontier. Eden's coast is coat of arms is a golden red chevron on a black field, and its capital is Vengerberg. Not long ago, the country nearly disappeared when Nilfgaard occupied its southern territories, and its northern neighbor and supposed ally Kedwin treacherously annexed Upper Eden. Though the invaders were defeated and the Kedwin withdrew from Eden's northern lands, the kingdom's fate still hangs by a thread. The country has been ravaged by peasant revolts, and its central government seems ever unsteady. Temerian Special Forces. The creation of these formations began. It turned out that shitty shield bearers. What? The creation of these formations began. It turned out. What the hell are they doing? That shitty shield bearers are as good at fighting the mobile squirtle units as the knight saddle on a pig. The first special forces were formed by King Demavend, and they were commanded by the infamous White Rayla. Their effectiveness went hand in hand with cruelty and ruthlessness in their battles with the squirrels, and their hatred to non-humans usually extended, mildly speaking, beyond professional spears. Elves from the units had equally strong enmity towards them, and the clashes between the partisans and the special forces were always extremely brutal and bloody. Besides fighting Scoia'tael, the Temerian special forces carried out a variety of other dangerous tasks, justly earning their reputation of effective professionals. Alright, Vizimen Uprising. The events known under the name took place not long after the Witcher mysteriously came back. The leader of the Order of the Flaming Rose, Jacques de Altersberg, made plans to build a new, better world under his own leadership. Using the power he had over the Order and fanning the conflict with the Scoia'tael until it threatened the city itself, he marched against King Foltest at the head of an army of mutated creatures. The battles that took place in the city between the Order, the Scoia'tael, and the troops loyal to the king are remembered as the Vizima Rebellion. Though historians cannot agree on their opinions on this event, the fact is that Foltest managed to contain the situation and the rebellion ended. What's the Upper Eden? I already know this stuff, okay. Wraiths. Wraiths are not, as some claim, the outward manifestation of an inner fear. They are visible, tangible, and dangerous on top of that. According to the teachings of priests, those who died suddenly without completing their task in this vale of tears become such specters. Wraiths have their own aim. Sometimes they remain unaware of them, but more often than not, they pursue their calling without the slightest regard for the living.
You don't mind.
What's just better do it?
Yeah, I'll sell you back all your books. Book. Okay, book. These are conquest item books, so medical power, medical notes, monster of neckers, scrolls. No, don't sell the report to Thaler. So the curse, the Arrakis, the art of magic, and the spears, done banished to society, grand triple, horror of war. You can promise this point of valley, realms of modeling, forces, Vizimen Uprising, boss of Eden, and Wraiths. There you go, you can have them all back. Got a lot of money here. Rot Fiend contract. He quickly discovered that rot fiends are necrophages. Their diet is made up of corpses or even just bones from which they suck marrow. Burning all the carcasses was the only way to rid the area of monsters. Right. Sure. Bro, I hate when you go past The saying "no sweets without sweat" was certainly true in Sambo's case. The reader was a proverb for every occasion, ran a thriving pawn shop, selling interesting scrolls, books, and manuscripts, among other items. Alright. And here are all the rates are not okay. So rates: Draugr, Bruxa, Harpy, Gargoyle, Rotfiend, and Boulevard. Gargoyles are not stone; they're like actual flesh. Alright, sure. Harpy trap. Oil, timber, and silver. I guess silver makes sense. I'll look at all this. Dun, Banner, Special Forces, Vizima Rebellion, Vizima, Kedwin, Redania, Temeria. Whoa, wait 1 second. Kedwin. The formidable ranges of the Blue, Kestrel, and Fiery Mountains define the eastern and western boundaries of this densely forested, cold, and harsh domain of Kedwin, whose coat of arms is a black unicorn rearing on golden field. The realm's capital at Art-Kere was the seat of power of King Henselt, a man known for having a violent temper and pursuing radical policies towards non-humans. The latter could be attributed to the fact that the Scoia'tael units constantly caused great injury to the woodland realm and its inhabitants, launching many brutal guerrilla attacks. The local human population responded with massacres perpetrated on the assimilated elves and dwarves inhabiting the country cities, and so hatred burned on and blood bred blood. Those who called for peace were accused of treason and often died at the hands of their kinfolk. Furthermore, Kedwen was involved in an age-old feud with neighboring Erdern over the territory of Lomark, and that conflict cast a pall over the relations between the two countries. As you will clearly see, its echoes rang out in the story as well. Redania, which is alright, it's the eagle. Situated between the Bra River in the north and the Pontar in the south, Redania is one of North's most important kingdoms. Its coat of arms is a crowned silver eagle on a red field. The eagle grips a golden scepter in its talons, and a small black shield bearing the golden cross anoints its proud, unprotruding chest. Despite recent unrest, the country survived unscathed and intact. The crisis that followed the death of King Vizimir the Just. Thiegor, King Radovid's seat of power, is the country's capital. The free city of Novigrad is its largest population center. In fact, Novigrad is something akin to the capital of the world, a center and cradle of commerce and culture, where an enlightened man can breathe his fill as long as he does so away from the back alleys. Old, musty, and scholarly Oxenford, the home of this author's alma mater, is another of the kingdom's noteworthy cities. During the last war with Nilfgaard, Redania joined with Temeria, Eden, and Kedwen and other northern realms to repel the invaders, and the Royal Redanian Corps played an important part during the Battle of Brenna. Temeria, which is black and white, I guess. Anyone who wishes to be considered an educated man rather than a common boor should mention Temeria first when the northern kingdoms are concerned. The realm's coat of arms is a black shield ordered with silver fleur-de-lis, and its capital is Vizima, where the royal palace erected by King Foltest stands. The country extends its protection to several surrounding domains, including the mountainous dwarven homeland of Mahakam. Currently, Temeria's neighbors include the mighty Redania, the wooded Kedwin, and Sideras, known for the truly pathetic poetry of Voldro Mrax, a troubadour unworthy of the title, for he chiefly devotes himself to besmirching the work of others. Superior artist, great. Him, I guess, Dandelion. Two other places in Temeria are essential to our story and just must be mentioned. Firstly, north of Vizima, near the White Bridge that links the banks of the Pontar, stands a proud fortress and walled town of the La Valette family. Secondly, further up the Pontar lies a small river port and trading port of Fluxum. Both will prove important to the beginning of our story. Adern, whose king was slain before any stuff we saw. Okay. This realm is bordered by Kedwen to the north, Redania to the northwest, and Temeria and the massif of the Mahakam Mountains to the west, and Lyria in the south. The Blue Mountains line its eastern frontier. Eden's coat of arms is a golden red chevron on a black field, and its capital is Vengerberg. Not long ago, the country nearly disappeared when Nilfgaard occupied its southern territories, and its northern neighbors and supposedly ally, Kedwen, treacherously annexed Upper Eden. So the invaders were defeated and Kedwen withdrew from Eden northern lands. The Kingdom of Fate hangs by a thread. Pontar Valley. Nilfgaard is the shield with the sun. The Empire of Nilfgaard, largest in the world, 1,000 provinces. Okay, I think we read about all this already. And then we have Melatele, conjunction of spears, magic, witches. Despite my long friendship with Geralt, I know little more about this peculiar brotherhood or guild than learned tomes provide. On top of that, I am obliged to discretion, so I shall write nothing more than necessary on the subject. Once as numerous as the beast they fought, witchers. Okay, not witches.
What about building bridges? And taking tolls under threat of force?
None of that. They sit among the rocks, and who'd go there? As for tolls, the headman tricked them, and they're not collecting any. He said he won't forbid them from collecting tolls, but not where there's no river. He said they do better building a highway to the town.
And are they building it?
Not a chance. Still waiting for a permit from the capital.
One they'll never get. followers embankment, right? And there is an army camp. There are the followers. That is a location. Yeah. The inevitable hodgepodge of camp followers had settled in just beyond the palisade of Hensel's military camp. The area was home to all manner of rabble, such as craftsmen, prostitutes, traders, thieves, and vagabonds. In other words, all those needed to keep an army on its feet. Vernon Roche was directed to settle with his soldiers among the camp followers. This instruction from the Kedwanians was meant as a jab at the Temerians, but the Blue Stripes honestly preferred the company of scoundrels to that of warriors bearing the unicorn on their chests. So he's here.
I'm from Stilton, in the Lavalettes lands in Temeria. Runaway, eh? I'm from Ban Glen. Well, I mix up everything.
This will surprise you. I came here from Nilfgaard.
What? How's that?
From Sintra. What are you staring at? I'm not mangy.
Truth be told, Sintra's not Nilfgaard. You're from the occupied territories.
We should be open to other nations when they open themselves to us so graciously, eh?
Are you the soldier?
Oh.
Greetings, Haggard.
Haggard?
Pretty please.
What the hell are you calling Haggard, man? Hey, man.
Browse and choose.
No, I'm gonna roll dice. Because I didn't beat you in dice here. I must beat everyone in dice, at least once. I can be called the true dice champion. Doesn't exactly work perfectly, but you know. If I beat everyone who wants to play at least once, that's something, you know. Oh, come on. I freaking lose.
Life can be really brown.
Play again. Come on. 5, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5. Okay, he's also got 5, 5. Come on, give me a 5, give me a 5. Oh, I got 2 6s. Okay, that's something. No, he got another 5, didn't he? Oh, he got 2 5s.
I fought for Nilfgaard.
Roll me. You must lose. That's the only thing that works for me. 6 6 6. Alright, come on, you can't beat that shit. It's done. You surrender now. Resigned, yeah, there you go. Like, that's all I want. It's just one more.
We should have our say, take an interest in things. Or it will turn out like the mill in Stilton. The one the smith from Jailmouth took over when he married.
Are you Leva?
If you've got a growth of some sort and you're here for the salve, get in line.
Nothing of the sort this time. You were here during Hensel's previous expedition.
What of it?
I have some questions.
Be quick. Half of Hensel's nobility's waiting for this salve. They've all started pissing blood out of longing for the spouses they left at home.
How many survived the battle?
Did many soldiers survive the battle 3 years ago?
But a handful. The rest were just vaporized. Those who could walk dragged those who couldn't. All the survivors were horribly burned.
I'm interested in that tower.
It's the remnant of a manor sacked long ago. They call it the Tower of Debauchery, since Madame Carol made camp at its foot.
Alright, the ravines on the patch.
The ravines around the camp. They don't look like they were shaped by nature.
They're proof of the great power sorceresses can summon. Sabrina's fireballs scarred the ground for many miles around the battlefield.
Sure, magic caused it, alright. Know anything about the house in the cliff?
3 years back, it was the home of Malgit, a healer, and his family. While he helped us tend the wounded, someone murdered his children. Malgit couldn't come to terms with the tragedy and threw himself into the river. The children were buried behind the house. Their graves should still be there.
I'll let you get back to treating all those brave fighting men.
Bad chance of Hensel's and Shillard inviting us to their meeting.
Well, we should at least object somehow. Spit at the sight of
Steady
the
yourself, pauper.
Two an hour
Other
heads
people
away.
looking too.
Boring.
Hey.
I see you finally decided to relax. Have I ever told you I think you lead a very unhealthy life?
You've mentioned it.
Evidently not enough for you to take it to heart. Anyway, The whores are quite decent here.
Maybe some other time.
You worry me.
Have you seen Sheila?
I wonder what Sheila's doing in Henselt's camp.
You're not alone, because she's wondering what you're doing at the king's side.
How do you know?
She asked me about you.
Oh.
What did she want to know?
I have no idea. I realized right off she was sniffing, and told her she could smell my fingers if she wanted. That'd be all she'd get.
And she gave up.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. See how careful I am?
I don't think so. Have you tried your luck with Wes?
Have you tried to, approach Vess?
I've thought about it. On the one hand, I've never rogered a soldier, but on the other, the clang of steel against steel at an intimate moment could put off even the most attentive lover. Why do you ask?
I just like to know.
What think about the
Heard anything about Letho?
They say he's hiding in the ravines. He's not alone.
I know.
I fail to comprehend exactly why you have it in for him. He escaped, so what? You're no king, and as such are hardly in danger.
But our name is, yeah.
I'm tired of having to explain that I'm not the Kingslayer.
Hensel believed you.
But he's still not sure, and I don't want him doing me any favors.
Let's say you catch him. What then?
It depends.
I'll decide once I've heard him out, learned the truth. Maybe I'll see his point, or maybe I'll just cut off his head.
Yeah. I'm hearing a lot about Sabrina and the battlefield as well.
Henselt's camp is abuzz with rumors about the events 3 years ago.
When you burn a sorceress at the stake, rumors spread faster than the seed of a lascivious bear.
I know you primarily value sorceresses for their firm busts, but I'm curious. What do you think of Sabrina Glevisig?
Sorceresses complain about feeling underappreciated, persecuted even. But let me tell you, Geralt, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If they didn't meddle, they wouldn't be burned at the stake. They keep whining about the horrors that took place on Thanet Island, about the order of the world being destroyed. But let me ask you, who brought that about, if not them and their scheming?
Alright. Got a feeling I'd find Yen.
My memories and feelings seem inextricably linked. I seem to be recovering both. I believe Yennefer's alive, and I'll eventually find her.
Triss, Yennefer, that's some life you lead, my friend.
First off, we have no idea if Yennefer's still alive. Second, we have no idea if Triss is alive.
Yeah, we don't know either.
True. You seem to have two women, when in fact, you don't even have one.
Their kind doesn't die easily. I'll find Triss as soon as I've dealt with the assassin.
What about Yennefer?
I won't know what to do about her until I see her.
Alright, see you, bud.
Are there trolls here?
Aye, there are. You don't mind.
It's that
What's so
albino
strange
again.
about that? Other lands have slizzards, drowners, we have trolls.
And they don't trouble the locals?
What about building bridges? And taking tolls under threat of
Friend.
Greetings.
None of that. Sit among the rocks, and who'd go there? As for tools, the headman could.
Hello, Madam Carol.
Well, a witcher. Girls, trim yourselves. How can I help you, Hanson?
What am I not wrong? Let's roll some
Want to
dice.
roll a few rounds of dice poker?
Yeah.
Shall we play?
Oh, yeah, let's roll them. I gotta beat you, man. Oh, lady, I guess. You're apparently one of the dice poker best here. And I wanna be the dice poker best. So. Beating you is obvious. Oh, she's playing for big money. And I'm losing. Big money.
Don't worry. You know what they say. Unlucky at dice, lucky at love.
Oh, shut up. Play again.
Well, how could...
Want to...
Shall we?
Yes, I gotta beat you. Very simple. Oh, this was my score down there. My overall score. 0-1. Look at that. I think it's about to go up for her too. 1. God damn it. 3, 4, 5, 6. What the hell is this? Re-roll it all. Come on, give me something. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. I lost again. Bro.
Don't worry.
Well, how...
Want to...
Shall...
This lady is fleecing me, man. Give me a good roll. 5, 5. Okay, I got a pair. That's I expected. I think in 5 die. What the hell did I pass for, you stupid idiot?
Don't worry.
Oh my god.
Well, how?
One.
Sure.
I gotta beat you. Oh.
Well, how?
You know what?
One.
Sure.
I'm gonna go again. 2, 2, 3, 5, 1. Why do I always only get up here? What the hell is up with that? Oh, I got another 2 more tools. Maybe a screw at least. Bro, what the? She got a full stack of 3. What the hell, man?
Don't worry.
You're cheating, man.
Well, what? How?
One.
Cheating.
Sure.
You're cheating, lady. I've lost 4 games against you now. Okay, 3, 3, 6, 6. You have already 4 of a kind. Oh my, I lose already. I've just straight up lost. She re-rolled her dice. I won. You're stupid. Maybe. Finally.
You've cleaned me out.
No, I haven't.
Anyone else I can fleece around here?
Lesota, the quartermaster's helper. He plays dice.
Alright, I got 100 orders. Little sisters. Geralt was interested in the house on the cliff and asked among camp followers. One of them, Livia, claimed the estate had once been the abode of Margaret, a folk healer. 5 years ago, when the quack was tending to those wounded in the battle, someone murdered his children. In despair, Margaret threw himself from the cliff. Travelers... okay, the Maverick thing. He saw the children, maybe? Yet Geralt was also counted among the chosen of fate and outplayed the madam. But what of it, since Lathota, the quartermaster's assistant, remained undefeated, a player so fierce that should Kedwen wage his wars through the games of dice poker, the entire world would be at King Hensel's feet. Well, it doesn't.
Well, how can...
Talk.
I wanted to talk.
We're no strangers to the art of conversation, but it'll cost you just as much as a good plough.
Fine.
Sounds all right.
Ask away, then. What would you like to talk about?
Now in the camp.
Anything interesting going on in the camp?
Soldiers are scared shitless what with this battle approaching. They'd rather drink themselves silly than let us honest whores make some coin. Is that interesting? I doubt it.
Not raring to fight, are they?
They might have been eager at first, but the longer we sit here, the less lively they become. Fighting's like ploughing. Lust for one, and you lust for the other.
Right.
Well, how can
Talk.
We're no...
Fine.
Ask away. What would you like to talk about?
Henselt.
I wouldn't mind knowing what you think of Henselt.
I'm a madam. What can I know about the king?
I seem to remember that madams and innkeepers know everything.
He used to come here to plough, to develop a camaraderie with the fighting men like, but that was just a phase. Most likely only ploughs sweet-smelling ladies now. Well, a witcher. Girls, prim yourselves. How can I help you, Hanson?
Talk.
I wanted to talk.
We're no strangers to the art of conversation, but it'll cost you just as much as a good plough.
Yeah, you're fine.
Sounds all right.
Ask away, then. What would you like to talk about?
Thoughts on the Virgin of Eddard?
Heard of the Virgin of Eddard?
Hasn't everyone?
Any thoughts?
Oh, yes. A maturing woman like that, never been ploughed, her head's bound to be muddled. We'll have peace when she drops her sword to grab a nice healthy prick instead. Well, how can I...
Yeah, sure.
I'm looking for a whore.
We've got plenty of those, you'll be glad to hear. But you'll need to show me your coin before you choose one. We all have our principles.
I've got the Orans, if that's what you're wondering.
Well, these are my girls. Choose, white-haired one.
Big Bus Miriam. Birdie and Estelle licking Lucy, whistling Wendy. Or give me Big Bus Miriam, I guess. I don't know, 80 yours? Rejected.
Well, how?
No.
But you...
I've got the...
Well...
Sure, there you go. 129. Accepted. smoking a pipe. Alright, I guess Geralt smokes pipes as well. Who knew? Did my health go down? What the hell? My health went down, man. That don't make no dang
I'm
sense.
from Stilton, in the Lavallette's lands in Temeria.
Okay, what else we got in here? Anything to steal? Anything to rob? Or did I just see there?
This will surprise you.
She's from Nilfgaard, but not really. She's actually just from...
From Sintra. What are you staring at? I'm not mangy.
Truth be told,
Hey, I'm available.
We should be open to other nations when they open themselves to us.
Right, so then there's a lot of land beyond this as well. I can go explore, I suppose. Oh, you know what? Let's go back to the camp for a second. Let's finish off the dice poker first.
Not another fucking stone.
What are you looking for among the stones?
Audrin, where are you?
No one knows where Audrin freaking is. You know, he's probably at the fucking beach. Let's play.
I'd like to play dice.
Wanna play right now?
Yeah. I bet 110 already. 110, just there. Drop the dice. Oh my, pretty good. Pretty good, bro. You should surrender, honestly. Yeah, resign. I have infinite warrants. Mission done.
You won. Do you want coin or something special?
Something special?
I'll take my coin,
Oh, no,
thanks.
no, what? No, when can I load the game? I wanted something special. Maybe it's here after the thing I did. You know the thing. Load game. I paid money for that thing. It was an autosave. Yeah, autosave. Autosave me?
Audrin, where are you?
What do you want?
Civic? No, I already
So
beat
long.
you guys.
So?
Oh, this probably saved after I beat him already.
So?
I mean, I'll try it anyway. Maybe it'll offer me something special again. But I misclicked there. I did want something special. Dude, 4 ones, I win. He didn't even roll. Okay, well, it's done then. Whatever. The Witcher won against Daskota, the lucky kid. He could not find a more worthy opponent in the camp, and his nose was so high in the air that birds could crap right into his eyes. He was so smug, flush with victory, that ships sailing the Ponta at night would have mistaken him for a lighthouse. I'll go find Odin. I'm pretty sure he's over here somewhere. Oh. What's going on
Leave
here?
me be, father! Leave you be? Your life's at stake! Why, your mother would have my head if anything happens to you!
No! This is about my honor. And plough what mother does to you, I'll practice. I must prepare.
Is he going to fight someone? Duel? Speak to the veteran soldier at the camp canteen. The butcher of Sidaris. On his way to the camp canteen, Geralt witnessed an argument in father and son. So the Witcher usually stays out of family quarrels. This one looked like a matter of life and death. A hero had the mystery of conspiracy against Helser to solve and needed information. He had a few precious friends in the camp, but knew from experience that he'd more likely to get a back scratch if he gave one first. Do someone a favor and they're likely to pay you back in kind. Geralt decided to talk to the old soldier, as it later turned out. Very good decision. Really?
Leave me be, Witcher. I must train. No time for idle chatter.
Okay, you won't talk.
Going to the slaughter like a pig for a feast. Well, there's naught I can do. Relics, artifacts, trinkets, and talismans. Hallowed and highly valuable.
Really? I'm looking for items belonging to those who died in the battle 3 years ago.
I'm interested in objects that belong to the soldiers who perished in the battle 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Not any old things. They have to be magically active. I know how to check.
That's not my speciality, Witcher. I deal in relics.
Okay, well, show me what you've got.
Got anything interesting there?
Ash from the stake where Sabrina burned. Nails that fastened the wheel of death. Splinters from the wheel. I've also got some metal parts and some of the martyr's garments. Whatever your heart desires.
Okay, nothing good anyway. Okay, I see. That's normal shit. Alright, well, I got nothing for you then.
Did he have
The Relic Peddler. What does the journal have to say about the Relic Peddler? Livia. Livia had worked in the camp in the previous Adveni campaign and knew a lot about the events of those terrible days. Relic Seller. Business, as a certain halfling would say, must keep rolling, and nearly anything can facilitate this. Wondrous amulets, invisibility caps, and pornographic scenes carved in cedar wood have always sold well on the market days. During fairs and in military camps, befitting on the popularity of Sabrina's cult, a certain enterprising man had begun selling relics on the site of her execution. The demand for protective amulets always grows before a battle. This individual did not lack for customers. Of course, but I can't talk to a lot of these people, huh?
I've no bloody idea who you might be, but I hope you're a civilian.
Must my devilish blood course so quickly through his veins?
You talked to this guy for the last thing.
Mind if I join you?
Yeah.
Think I've the right to stop you from taking a free stool?
No right, but you might not want company while you drink.
And why might you want to drink with me?
I need some help.
Always better to talk business over a tankard. Let me buy a round.
All the same to me.
Getting sad drunk.
Mm-hmm. My son's decided to kill himself. He's decided to duel Lieutenant Avid, known as the Butcher of Cidaris. All in all, that makes him a dead man.
Why is he dueling him? Who is this person?
Lieutenant Avid. Who's that?
A killer.
Plenty of those in the army.
No, killing enemies is not the same as slaughtering your own countrymen. The Butcher likes the latter, and he's good at it. The best.
So what, you got into an argument? It's gonna be a duel?
They're going to duel to the death?
Are you that ignorant? We've been sitting here for weeks. Nothing is happening, and Henselt don't like that, so he's organised some diversions.
You mean tournaments?
Yeah.
Not like tournaments, more like murders. Mock battles without the mocking. The jailers really leave the arena on their own 2 feet. When our unit learned that 6th Company was putting forward the Butcher of Cidaris, there were no volunteers, so we drew straws and it fell to Sven.
Why were you
He can't back out.
He can, but he won't. I've pleaded, I've begged, but my son's a stubborn one. The pup's got honour. But what gives honour to a corpse?
Let me help you.
What if I helped you?
What kind of question is that?
Could I count on you in return?
Save my son, and there won't be a thing I wouldn't do to aid you.
I take that as your vow. Where's Sven?
Outside?
Training in front of the canteen, near the mercenary's tent. You'll know him when you see him. Going to the slaughter like a pig for a feast, and there's naught I can do.
Oh, you got me to help. The old soldier was named Manfred. He needed help and agreed to help the Witcher investigation on the condition that first Geralt would help out his son, Sven. But he didn't say he'll help the thing, the hut on the cliff. The abandoned hut on the cliff had witnessed a monstrous event. The entire family, including the home, had died a bloody death in unclear circumstances. But he didn't say he would help us in the investigation. He just said he'll help us do anything. Lestrand Abbott. Lestrand Abbott did not enter tournaments to prove himself, but to maim and kill. Above all, he cherished those moments when he crushed an enemy and could mercilessly pound him into the bloody mud. Great. Called the Butcher of Cidaris, he owed this moniker to his infamous role in tournaments a few years earlier that was interrupted before time, but still ended with a trifling 5 deaths. Great. After those events, Abbott chose to accept the hospitality of King Henselt, known for his less strict approach to the concept of chivalrous rivalry. Manfred. A father's care for his son, even an adult son, can cause even the bravest to grieve and worry. Manfred was an old soldier, a Cadweni veteran of many lives, or many battles, who had lived a full life. At the thought of outliving his son, who was to face the terrifying Butcher of Cidaris in the arena, had broken the brave man. Manfred had to drown his sadness and despair in booze in the camp canteen. Sven. Fate would have it that the youth named Sven was to represent his unit in a duel with the famous Butcher of Sidaris. Since Sven's heart was full of valor, he was not about to back down, though the chances were slim that he would survive the fight with his empty head still attached to his shoulders. I will tell you how his story ended. Did I help them? Probably. I wouldn't mind fighting if I got some money for it. Right, anyway. We save. I'm pretty sure the man is just gonna be over here somewhere, right? Just sleeping. He's not here. Well, that's not surprising. Alright, anyway. We'll save the game. See you on the next one.